Welcome to AOT 104 Keyboarding and Input Technologies. This is a brief video that's going to introduce you to your course and how to navigate the course, where things are, how things are set up, and just give you a quick overview of how you are going to interact with the course. So what you'll see is my screen is shared, and this is your landing page. So this is the first page you're going to land on when you go to Blackboard and you click on AOT 104. So this is your announcements page. As of right now, as of this recording, the only announcement posted is the welcome announcements. There will be more added, so be on the lookout for those. Probably by the time you get in the course, there will already be more there, but this is the one that's here now. Basically, it shows you the textbook. It shows you that we will be using Windows speech recognition and that we will be using the Greg reference manual. So those are the three books and tools that we're going to use. This part does not have a book. So on the left, you see a menu here, and you will use many of these things, not all, but you will use many of these things throughout the course. So, again, this is your announcements tab. If you click on the instructor info, this gives you the instructor name, the department chair's name, the dean's name, and I'm going to go ahead and click on it even though the instructor info is not filled out yet because various instructors do teach this course. This will be filled in with your instructor contact information, all of their information here. This is the department chair. This is actually me. So here's my email address, my work phone, where my office is. If you need to schedule an appointment with me for any reason, please just send me an email. I'll be glad to schedule an appointment with you. If you have any issues with the course or a grade or anything like that, please make sure that you discuss it with your instructor before bringing it to the department chair's attention. So always try to address things, with your instructor first. Usually they can help you solve any issues that you have. And then we have the dean's information here. Once you have reached out to the department chair, if you still can't come to a resolution, you are welcome to reach out to the dean. Please do not skip any of these steps. It's very important as a student that you learn to work with your instructor first, then department chairs, then assistant deans and deans at that level. So that is all under instructor info. Then you'll see the Syllabus and Information tab. Here you will have the syllabus. You will have the department policies, so all policies that pertain to all AOT courses. You will have a plan of instruction, and this is basically your course schedule. If you click on these, you'll see that it is a week-by-week guide to your instruction. And I'm going to go ahead and click on it, open it up, and you'll see that basically we have week 0. It's called week 0 because in this particular semester we have kind of an odd start date. It's on a Thursday, so it's not really enough to have a full week of instruction. So you just have a couple of things, really short things to do that are due by the 22nd. So I call that week 0. And then you have all of your weeks, week by week, information about the exam, information about course policies, keyboarding techniques. So you'll find some other information here as well. So that is on your plan of instruction. So now I'm going to go back to Blackboard. Again, this is just a policies document. You will need to read this, and you'll need to read your syllabus before you take the syllabus quiz, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's also a folder here about getting started with GDP. GDP is the software we use. And so if you click that, you've got a registration guide you can download. Should give you step-by-step instructions for registering for GDP after you've purchased your textbook from the bookstore. And then here's customer support. There's a number and their hours if you have any problems registering. Unfortunately, as faculty, we really can't help very much with the registration process. So if you run into issues there, the best thing you can do is contact GDP customer support. So that is all under the Syllabus and Info tab. If you go to course content, hopefully this is very organized for you. The first thing you see is the timed writing scales. We will have timed writings in this course each week. And so we can look at this and you'll see that it's set up by week. And it tells you what the timed writing is going to be, and this may change a little bit by the time you see it, but it tells you what lesson you're going to have the timed writing on, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minute, or 3 minute, what your goal is for your words per minute, and it tells you that you can only have 3 errors. So you have to have 3 or less errors. So here's how these are graded. If you meet the weekly words per minute, so in week 2, if you on this particular schedule, and again you'll want to look at your schedule for your update, but let's say we're looking at this one in week 2, you have a 1 minute timing. If you meet 13 words per minute with 3 or fewer errors, you get a 100. If you attempt it but you don't quite meet the goal, so maybe you only have 10 words a minute or you have 5 errors, then you would get a 50. If you don't attempt it at all, you get a 0. Again, this document may be updated, so you definitely want to check your actual course to make sure that you have the right one. This one is just a sample. Back under course content, you'll see week 0, like we talked about for summer. When you click on that, everything that you need for week 0 should be here. So we have the objectives, what you're going to do for the week. We have your first week assignments listed, so it's kind of like a task list for you. Here's that syllabus quiz we talked about, so you'll just click there to access it. Here's the first week contact information assignment, and you'll see that's on your task list. And the other thing is a student introduction on the discussion board, and it tells you that all assignments are due by 11:59 on the date on the plan of instruction. So if you scroll down, you'll see here's the discussion board. You'll click on that link and it takes you to the discussion board, which has the instructions, and you'll see several discussion boards, but you're going to want to choose the one that we're working on that week. And you'll see what it asks you to do. To create a discussion, you would click it, and then you would create a thread. So that's how you would create a discussion board. So you'll notice that each week is kind of set up the same way. You have your objectives, you have your assignments or your task list, and then any discussion boards or anything else that you may have. That one's typing technique, so you would scroll down and choose that one. So if we look, as we get further down, you'll start to see some additional assignments here. You'll understand those as we get to them, but just know that it's broken down by week so that you can hopefully find everything there. Course tools. These are just some tools that you may be familiar with. Your calendar, contacts, so your instructor contacts, a roster of all the people in the course. You can also send email from here. If we have any meetings, you can click on Zoom meeting. I will post those links if we do. They're not going to be required because this is an online course, but if we have those meetings, you'll see that they will appear here as well as any other place that I post the link. You can also get to my grades and the discussion boards and things through here, so just familiarize yourself with these tools a little bit. Assignments. So I have a note at the top of the assignments tab. I use the assignments tab as kind of a holder for a lot of the things that you're going to be doing. So, you know, the quizzes. So while you may be able to go to week 3 and then the quiz that you're going to take in week 3 is listed there, I kind of have a holding spot for them here, so you could always access them here. It says that there's no content, but that's because it opens and closes at a certain date, so there's no content in there that's available right now. But you can access those things from here. And I tell you that here at the top, the assignments listed here are all linked within the week they are due. While you can access the assignments here, you should be able to access them in your weekly folders. So if for some reason you can't get to it through a weekly folder, you can always come here and find your assignments as well. Tests, this will be basically the holding place for the final exam. You can always access your grades. I do not use course messages, so please use send email for me. Course messages, I never check those, so please do not use those in my course. But you can use send email. I really like if you're going to send me an email when you send through Blackboard. If you send through Blackboard, it'll automatically put the course name and section as the subject line. Always do this when you're emailing any instructor, even if you don't do it through Blackboard. Make sure that's information that you put in your subject line, because instructors have multiple classes. And if you send an email that says, I'm having trouble on this week's assignments, as instructors, we may not know which course you're in, and then we have to start digging through which section you're in, because they're all divided up in Blackboard for us too. So just like you have multiple classes, we have multiple classes, and it's very difficult sometimes to pin down what class you're in. So please make sure that you put that as your subject line. If you do it from here, it's all good, and it puts it in there for you. And then student resources, this is just some Greenville Tech resources as far as tutoring services, library services, the bookstore. So this is just a link to lots of Greenville Tech resources. So that's kind of a brief overview. Each week there will be a new announcement posted. By the time you log in, there should be some welcome announcements posted. One will be this video, but each week you'll see new announcements pop up. We will guide you to the weekly folder that you need to click on and kind of give you an overview of what we're going to be doing for the week. So hopefully this has helped you just kind of get introduced to your course a little bit, figure out how to navigate it. If you have any questions, please reach out to your instructor on this course. And we wish you a successful semester. Please make sure that you reach out to your instructor with any questions that you may have. Instructors are always willing and available to help you. So have a great semester, and we look forward to working with you.